Hi, I'm Pester and this is Soso, and we are
the High Flying Fools! Welcome back to This Tastes Funny, the show where we recreate historical dishes with funny names and present them to the Queen.
On this week's edition of This Tastes Funny, we have
Ropa Vieja,
or translated, old clothes.
Legend has it that once a penniless old man, unable to feed his family, in a fit of desperation shredded and boiled his own clothes. He prayed over this boiling pot until a miracle happened, and it turned into a delicious stew.
Yum. Now this story dates back about 500 years into Spain in two different areas. One is the Canary Islands, and the other is the Iberian Peninsula, with the Sephardic Sephardic Jews. Now they say that because they couldn't cook on the Sabbath, what they would do is they would make this hearty stew the night before and then eat it then.
And although it originated in Spain, it is the official national dish of Cuba. Now, as always, we will be creating the traditional version as well as the gluten-free vegetarian version. In this case, everything is the same except for the meat. Pester will be using the traditional flank steak, and I will be using just like beef.
Now, as you might see, we decided to make our biggest recipe in our smallest space possible. So for space reasons, I'm going to do the first part, and then Soso's going to come back and join us for the second part. So I'm going to be doing the preparation for the meat and the meatless meat, as it were. And then Soso will come back for the actual Ropa Vieja part.
And we'll let you know how to prepare the meatless meat as well.
And so there's any key changes, we'll let you know what the key changes are between the two. But for the most part, like we said, it's going to be the same recipe. All right, so let's rip up our clothes.
No!
What?
For this recipe, we have two sets of ingredients. First for the marinade or broth, and then we have one also for the sauce. First for the marinade / broth. You'll have 2 pounds of brisket or flank steak, 1 large carrot, 1/2 of a small red cabbage, 2 sprigs fresh spearmint, 1/2 small bunch of fresh flat leaf parsley, 4 cloves of garlic, 1 teaspoon of whole black peppercorns, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of whole allspice, 1/2 teaspoon of whole cloves, and 2 dry bay leaves. For the vegetarian version, you'll use 3.5 ounces of just like beef.
Right, for your Ropa Vieja sauce, you will need 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 1 large yellow onion thinly sliced, 1 large green bell pepper, cleanly and thinly sliced, 4 large garlic cloves, 1/2 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1 teaspoon salt, a large pinch of ground cloves, 1/2 teaspoon of ground allspice, 1.5 cups canned tomato puree, 1 dried bay leaf, 1/4 cup white wine, 1 cup roasted red bell peppers, and fresh flat leaf parsley chopped.
So now we're going to do our prep portion, part 1, for our old clothes. First, we're going to take our traditional flank steak here. I'm going to cut it in half. We'll show you what to do with the just like meat a little bit later. Next, we're going to get our red cabbage out here. We're going to quarter this guy. You're really just throwing these chunks just in there. It's kind of just going to cook itself together. Kind of making a broth, if you will. And you get some carrots. Chop these guys up. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Got your spearmints here. Lovely. Put that in there. A little mix. You want your just 1 bay leaf. Parsley, we're going to remove the stems from. Sprinkle that guy in there. We got 2 cloves of garlic here. We got our little garlic press that we're going to throw them inside. You know, if you don't have a garlic press, you can do it yourself with a knife. It just takes a little longer. Get all of it. Boom. Right. Lastly, You got your dry ingredients here, your pepper, your salt, and all of your allspice. And then you're going to mix this together with 3 cups of water. Now, we're going to bring this to a boil, and after that, we're going to put a lid on it, and then it's going to cook for about 1.5 to 2 hours. Now, we'll lower the heat and simmer it for about 1.5 to 2 hours. All right. We'll see you guys in a little bit. We'll let you know what to do with the just like beef stuff, and see you then.
All right, so Pester's beef is cooling, and we have here the broth that has been cooking for about 2 hours, and we are about to make some just like beef. This is my first time too. This is the package here, and this is 3.5 ounces, which it says makes about 12 ounces of reconstituted just like beef. So I'm gonna do that by removing about half of the cabbage from the broth, just putting it in a neighboring pan, and we're going to use the broth that we made to thicken up this beef, or to rehydrate. I'm going to turn this on to heat. Alright, let's stir that in there. And we'll see what happens. I might need to take another cabbage out of there. For space. Space seems to be the theme of this issue. Or of this episode. It's my issue. Okay. So once this starts boiling, then I'm going to leave it on for about 5 minutes. It also says you can microwave this. Same thing, just put cup for cup and then microwave it. But, you know, we're being authentic here, using our gas stove. Alright, looks like we got a boil going. That's a nice thing about this, it goes pretty quickly to boil. Put this down to simmer. 5, 4, 3, 2. That's not how minutes work. It is time. All right. Ooh, it actually looks like beef. Yeah, let's see. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So next we're gonna put this aside to cool, and we're gonna watch Pester shred some beef before we get to the Ropa Vieja.
Here we have our cooled down meat from our broth. We're just going to take it on right out of here. And now we're going to get to shredding it up. Now, flank steak, you just want to shred with the grains, and it'll make really easy shredding. You're just going to take that and just right there. Boom, check that out there. And you're just going to keep doing that over and over. And then after we get to the shredding, we're going to save a 1/4 cup of the broth here for the part 2 of this recipe. So keep going here. These are going to be pretty consistent shreds here. It makes it real easy to make everything the long length and make it look like the ripped up torn clothes that this recipe is famous for. This is the old clothes right here. Right. Now we can get our cup of broth here to save for later. That again. Alright. Alright, now, Sosa is going to help us with part 2 of the recipe now.
Alright, now it is time to dress in our old clothes, or something like that. Alright, so what we are going to do is heat up this skillet, add in our oil, and I'm going to make the full portion of the close dressing, and then split it before we have to add in the broth or the meat. Alright, I'm going to do that. And as earlier you saw a pepper and then thin slices of peppers, that's what you're going to do. You're going to add your peppers and also the onion. And we're going to saute these guys together. Alright. Alright, get them nice in there. This will take about 15 minutes, 10 to 15. While that is happening, I'm going to come over here and get this handy dandy mortar and pestle, which I found out later is not code for murder pester. I said I was sorry. And I'm going to add in my garlic and my salt, cloves, pepper, and allspice. This guy needs a little bit of attention. Stir him up.
Turn the heat down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. And now the fun part. Correct. Yes, and you want to get a nice good paste going here. And after you have your paste, we want to scoop it into your sauteing veggies. Alright. That's actually pretty good. Alright. Now, I'm going to add this here. Get it all. Alright. Nice. We're going to cook that in there. For 20 minutes, for 2 more minutes. For 2 more minutes. I'm gonna cook this in here for 2 more minutes. It does smell good. Yeah, those spices are everywhere. Yeah. These are kind of looking a little, I'm gonna heat this up a little bit more. But yeah, you can definitely get that delicious aroma. You can tell why this is a staple. Alright, so next we are going to add in tomato puree. And a bay leaf. Yes. And then your white wine. Now if you are looking at this and thinking, so, that does not look like white wine. That looks like cheap tequila. You're right. But in the spirit of Ropa Vieja, we are going to use what we have. And this, my friends, is what we have. So, take that into account when you note our responses. I think it'll be pretty good.
You're gonna separate at this point.
Yeah. Do I Do I need to cook this any longer?
No, it in fact has to go to a simmer.
Alright. Alright, so now at this point is when you would add in your broth and your beef. So I'm gonna add what?
It fell off.
Alright, at this time we're gonna put this down to a simmer, and you would normally add in your broth and your beef. But since we are doing a vegetarian version as well, we are going to add some of it to this. Now my Just Like Beef seems to have taken up most of my broth, so I'm just gonna add my half to this pot. Ooh. Shocking results. That looks like about half. And I'm gonna mix this guy in, and I am gonna toss you over to Pester.
Alright, we're back, and now I have my portion of the Ropa Vieja mix, and I'm going to mix in my shredded beef. Put that in there. Alright, looks real good. We have it on a low heat right now. We're going to also mix in that broth that we saved earlier. And then once you get this all mixed together nice and good, we're going to bring it down to a simmer. We're going to cover it, and we're going to let it sit there on a low heat simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. Alright, see you guys in about 15 and 20.
Alright, looks like our Ropa Vieja is almost done. We're gonna lastly add in our roasted red peppers. Give that a good stir. And then...
Alright, I'm going to add the roasted red pepper. Oh,
Ooh,
some of my Ropa Vieja is trying to leave.
risky clothes.
Alright. Just go dump it in there.
Right.
I'll stir that one into my Ropa Vieja.
Okay. We can turn the heat off at this point.
It looks and smells delicious.
It does. I think it is time to plate and then present it to the Queen.
Your Majesty, we present to you old clothes.
What did you say?
Old clothes.
To the dungeon!
Hi, I'm Pester and this is Soso from Laugh Now, and we just made old clothes.
And now we're gonna eat them. Yeah. Alright. Firstly, they look pretty similar,
They look,
right?
yeah.
Weird.
Soso has the vegetarian friendly version, and I have the original recipe.
That is so good.
That's really good.
It is so good.
I would eat my old clothes all day if they tasted like this.
Yeah. So there are a lot of different recipes for old clothes, and also please forgive any mispronunciations that we may have done.
I can't pronounce English words right.
Yeah,
And-
we did our best. But yeah, if you have a favorite recipe for old clothes, please let us know because this is delicious.
And if you want to make your own video of you making old clothes, we would definitely watch it. Post it in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to see it. And as always, if you have something that you would like to see us make, a dish with a funny name, please let us know.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Thanks!